Baby, you got me like won't you stop loving me? Don't quit loving me. Just stop loving me, yeah. And then that's how it's just to get close to you. And I run for miles just to get the taste. Must be and you got me like, ow, yeah. What you want from me? What you want from me? And they try to buy your pretty heart, but price too high. Baby, you got me like your love will not fall apart, so you can put me again and throw me against that wall. Baby, you got me like won't you stop loving me? Don't quit loving me. Just stop loving me, yeah. And then that's how it's just to get close to you. And I run for miles just to get the taste. Must be This is Black Titanic. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. From me, and they try to buy your pretty heart, but price too high. Baby, you got me like your love will not fall apart, so you can put me again and throw me against that wall. Baby, you got me like won't you stop loving me? Don't quit loving me. Just stop loving me, yeah. And then that's how it's just to get close to you. And I run for miles just to get the taste. Must be love. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the home of Black Titanic. Oh, happy Sabbath, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath to all of you. Yes, happy Sabbath to uh, Tyler and Timon, Tyler and Timon, Cynthia Buckhannon. I thought I saw Nosy Rosie Grand. Emu Potential was. Yes, thank y'all for being here. Welcome, 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 you guys. Well, y'all know that today is the day that I really just do the book things in out of my book, Black Titanic African Aboard. It don't seem like it's a lot of light in here, you guys. Anyway, Black Titanic African Aboard is what we're going to be discussing today, but it goes along the line of I always say that the past reflect the future. So it goes along the line of colorism, right? In this episode of this book, we will be addressing colorism. And then there are some people that we know in our families or from way back in the day that they were black, but they were passed for white because they would be a mulatto or biracial. So a lot of them were passed for white back in the day, and they did it to have an easier life, you guys, because them Jim Crow laws, I was raised up in those under those Jim Crow laws. They was not favoring black people at all. But anyway, happy Sabbath to you guys. And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to be starting on page 111 to 116 when Ellen meets her Caucasian family. Now, have y'all to know Ellen is in this book. She is biracial, but she looked like a white woman. I just picture her as looking like something like a Mariah Carey, y'all. Just picture that. So that's how I picture her looking, but she was able to roam the ship for the Africans, the darker skin that lived down in the bowels of the Titanic, because, she could pass for white. But what I'm saying in this episode, the past reflect the future. I'm going to be talking about Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings is the black girl. She really was a little girl that Thomas Jefferson had babies by. Now, according to the document, he started messing with her at 14 years old. And she had like about 7 kids from him, the president at the time, Thomas Jefferson. Yet, she still was his servant. That's what he kept her as. So in the book, if anybody ever know about her story, 2 of her kids could pass for white, so they left the home and never wanted to be known that they were black. So that's how 2 of Sally Hemings' kids, which was Thomas Jefferson grandkids, y'all. Yeah. Anyway, happy Sabbath to everybody. Reno, happy Sabbath to you. I'm going to go ahead on and get started, you guys. This is going to be Sally Hemings and President Thomas Jefferson. Happy Sabbath, everyone. It's a blessing. Blessing to everyone. Blessing, blessing, blessing. It's a cold case file. Oral history, as told by the elders, is that she was an enlisted passenger aboard the Titanic. She was traveling as a personal caregiver with a European contractor. April 1912, the Titanic hit an iceberg. something overboard, says Melinda, but I was too scared. Then I thought about sliding down the road, but oh my God, they were shooting and all black faces in sight. Nor will they give us life jacket. Then the water forced me into the sea. I swam towards European lifeboat, but they pushed me away. Then a big, large wave grabbed me, and it forced me. It twisted me around like I was dancing. Of course, my ancestors continued to search. They used dancing to tell the stories. They told it through folklore. They told it through history. They danced and they danced. And they continued to search and search for me. But I remained lost at sea forever. But you know what? Our ancestors always come back to tell. You can't keep our history hidden from us. This is the story of Sally Hemings and President Jefferson, the little girl that he used as a sexual slave. That's all. Here we go.
The story of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings' intimacy is traced back to 1787, when Hemings traveled to Paris with Maria Jefferson after the death of her sister, Lucy. Sally Hemings was the daughter of Betty Hemings and her owner, John Wales, who was a planter and enslaver. Wales had inherited Betty from his late wife, Martha, and he began an affair with her and made her his concubine. Betty would give birth to 6 children for Wales in a span of 12 years, of which Sally was the youngest of these children. When Wales died in 1773, his property, including his slaves, was inherited by his eldest daughter, Martha Wales, who had married the young planter and future president Thomas Jefferson on January 1st, 1772. At the time when John Wales died, Sally was still an infant. She, along with her mother and siblings, was brought to Jefferson's home in Monticello, where they continued living as slaves. The children from Betty's relationship with Wales were younger half-siblings of Martha Wales. Sally was 25 years younger than Martha and grew up in her home. As was the practice at the time, children born to female slaves inherited the mother's slave status. It did not matter if the father was a slave owner, the children born were automatically slaves. The rape of Sally Hemings is reported to have begun in Paris. In 1787, Hemings accompanied Jefferson's daughter, Maria, to Paris as her body slave when her father was the ambassador of the United States to France. She was just about 14 years old at the time and around the same age as Maria. They stayed in France for about 18 months, and in those months, Jefferson and Hemings' sexual relationship began. When Jefferson was called back home, Hemings refused to return to Virginia. She was starting to love France, its language, and its culture. In France, she was free, but if she returned to Virginia, she would be enslaved. Jefferson then enticed her with perks so that she could return to Virginia. Thomas Jefferson reportedly promised that if she returned to Virginia with him, he would free her children once they reached the age of 21. There have been different accounts of how many children she had, but she certainly had at least 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. When Sally Hemings returned to Monticello, she performed the duties of an enslaved household servant. It was her duty all her life up to the time of Jefferson's death to take care of his chamber and wardrobe, look after her children, and do such light work as sewing. She was still referred to as Maria's maid. After Sally and Thomas Jefferson returned to Paris in 1789, she gave birth to a son, Tom. He died shortly after he was born. She gave birth to six other children: Harriet Hemings I, who died when she was 2, Beverly Hemings, Thenia Hemings, who died in infancy, Harriet Hemings II, Madison Hemings, and Eston Hemings. The birth of the children was recorded in Jefferson's farm book. However, unlike how he did for the other enslaved people, he did not record who the father of Sally's children was. The Hemings children were allowed in the main house. They were not given any complex duties. At the age of 14, they began.
So oftentimes the biracial children would work in the home, and it would be the enslaved children, you guys. And that wife knew
Their duties with the boys. Beverly, Madison, and Eston learning carpentry and how to play the violin, which Thomas Jefferson also played. Harriet II learned how to spin and weave and was often on the cotton plantation.
So this man had all these children with this woman, with this black girl. This was a child, y'all. This was not no.
Hello and welcome to our live stream on enslaved women. According to Hemings and Jefferson's son, Madison Hemings, his mother became Jefferson's concubine and was pregnant with their first child by the end of their time in Paris. In 1789, prior to returning to Virginia, Hemings negotiated for extraordinary privileges for herself and freedom for her children. Although Sally Hemings has been a public figure since 1802, most details about her personality, appearance, and daily life escaped the archives. Her son Madison's memoir tells us that she had light duties as a maid and seamstress in comparison to other enslaved women at Monticello. Like countless enslaved women, she had no legal right to refuse unwanted sexual advances and ultimately bore 6 children fathered by Thomas Jefferson. We do not know if Hemings ever had any substantial relationships, romantic or otherwise, with other men. Unlike countless enslaved women, Sally Hemings was able to negotiate with her owner. She raised 4 children, Beverly, Harriet, Madison, and Eston, and prepared them for their eventual emancipation. Her sacrifices meant that her children would leave slavery at Monticello and their mother behind. By the later years,
So there was no protection for the black woman, you guys. Those enslavers could just go and take advantage of them, bear children with them. And as you can see, they would sleep with you, but still have you enslaved. You know, I try to tell a lot of people that just because they're sleeping with you doesn't mean that they're not racist or they don't feel like they're superior than you are. This man right here kept her as a servant, and she was having all these babies by him and his children.
In her life, Beverly and Harriet had left Monticello and passed into white society. At Jefferson's death, Hemings received an unofficial freedom.
So he had 2 children that looked white. So they passed. They passed in society, much like Ellen's sister, Helen. She passed for white. So she wasn't going for it. She wanted a new life. It just oftentimes was just, the life was just easier back in the day if you were white, because black people had no rights.
That allowed her to live in Charlottesville with her younger sons, Madison and Eston, until her death in 1835. The location of her grave is not known. Sally Hemings should be known today not just as Jefferson's concubine, but as an enslaved woman who, at the age of 16, negotiated with one of the most powerful men in the nation to improve her own condition and achieve freedom for her children.
She indeed was just a child. He started messing with her they claim at 14 years old that still was a child. This was President Jefferson and all his little biracial children.
Slave family would have lived in. In one of these cabins, there could have been 10 to 12 people working, living, eating, cleaning, all of those types of things together as a family. This cabin specifically has been decorated to look like the one that John and Priscilla Hemings would have shared. Priscilla Hemings worked as a caretaker, caring for Jefferson's grandchildren, mostly. Now, John and Priscilla Hemings spend a long life together in terms of their marriage, but physically they spend most of it not near each other. For 19 years of their marriage, Priscilla Hemings, along with Jefferson's grandchildren, are living at Edge Hill, the plantation that belonged to Jefferson's daughter and her husband, Martha Jefferson Randolph and Thomas Mann Randolph. So for 19 years, they are separated from each other physically. Now they're only 3 miles away. It might as well have been 300. Eventually, they move back here to Monticello, and John and Priscilla Hemings are reunited. And then only a couple of years later, John Hemings is sent to go oversee that construction at Poplar Forest, and so they're separated for another 6 years. How do you maintain a union, a bond such as theirs, in the face of so much separation from each other? And we see that John Hemings, while he's at Poplar Forest, was actually writing letters to Jefferson's youngest granddaughter, whose name was Septimia. And so we see that he's writing letters to this 11-year-old child, talking about updates on the work that he's doing, some speculation as to when he might be able to come back to Monticello. Is he writing those letters to Septimia because he wants her to be aware of what's going on in his life and he wants to update her? Maybe. Is he writing those letters to her because he's trying to talk to the person who's most likely to be in the room, the person who's most likely to be helping Septimia read those letters, and that's Priscilla. Also maybe. Now, separation was a constant fear and reality for enslaved laborers here at Monticello. It was a tool used to coerce them into doing the things that their owners wanted them to do. It was used as a consequence for some whenever they did actions that their owners perceived to be wrong. And it was also sometimes just used on the whims of the people that owned them. Another example that we see is in the life of Nancy Hemings, who is another sibling of John and Sally Hemings. Now, she grows up being trained as a weaver, starting at the age of 13. And she becomes a very skilled weaver until in 1785, Jefferson gives her and her youngest 2 children, gives them away as a wedding gift to Jefferson's younger sister, Anna Scott Marks. Now, they go to live in Richmond on that plantation, and they're there for 10 years. So they're separated from the rest of the Hemings family. And in that 10 years, they start to live their lives there, start to create what their new life is going to look like. And then 10 years pass, and Jefferson now wants another weaver, another skilled weaver, to come back to Monticello. So he asks his sister if he can buy Nancy Hemings back. And he does, but he doesn't buy the 2 children. So Nancy Hemings is separated from her children. She's separated from her family members again and brought back here to Monticello. The 2 children would...
So y'all see, coming up is going to be how Ellen and her twins were separated. Ellen and Helen, they were separated. The enslaver, he decided, which is Dr. Anderson. Dr. Anderson is on that boat, and Ellen is going to meet up with those 2. So it was common to separate families during that time. But Mr. Jefferson seemed like that Hemings family, he was obsessed with it. One of Sally Hemings' great grandkids or what have you. But anyway, he is the descendant of Sally Hemings. Now, notice he's going to say the founding fathers, okay? They become heroes for humiliating us, dehumanizing us, and killing us. They also, their ancestors is also remembered. But when we try to bring up our history, they said that was a long time ago. Can't y'all forget about that? But they never forget their ancestors. Thomas Jefferson, in this case, is looked up as a great man because he enslaved a lot of black people. He also violated a lot of children too. This is the Thomas Jefferson case. This will be his great grandson too.
Back here at home, it is a 4th of July with a unique meaning for 78-year-old James Clark. Today is more than a holiday to him. It's a day where he thinks of his ancestors, and that's because he's a descendant of Thomas Jefferson. 9 News Science Paulo Cerro explains his connection to our founding father.
If we go over here,
History on the walls and history in his blood.
this is my grandmother.
Meet James Ira Clark's grandmother, Martha or Bessie Clark.
This is my grandmother again. She's active in the First Baptist Church of Cumminsville, at which my mother wound up being very active.
According to James, all of them are descendants of Thomas Jefferson, a founding father and 3rd president of the United States.
Most people I mention it to, they think I'm crazy or lying.
See, Bessie, James's grandmother, was Peter Fawcett's granddaughter, and James says that Fawcett was not only one of Jefferson's slaves, but also his grandson. Fawcett moved to Ohio after Jefferson's death, becoming a reverend in Cincinnati and a conductor for the Underground Railroad.
Original slave papers that relates back from Thomas Jefferson down to, well, I guess you would say down to my son. Now that I'm older, I'm proud of my heritage.
He's got a table full of century-old documents.
It makes me feel good. That's the only thing I can hold on and keep me sane.
Including the papers that released his ancestors from slavery.
With the original seal, I might add, this, to let you know they're not fraudulent.
Reminding him that we've come a long way, even though he says growing up in the 50s with racism was not easy.
A little Christmas bag was in the mailbox, and I got it out, opened it up, and you know what it was? 2 pieces of coal.
James was a welder who retired in January after 25 years. And although he can't read or write like many of his ancestors, he's got the history written on these papers and in his blood.
That gave me a satisfaction of looking back where I was, where I've been, and now.
Paulo Cerro, 9 on your side.
Yeah, that great forefather. That's what they call him, the forefather, the founding forefather. That they call that man. He is looked up to. I don't know what he is on what. Thomas Jefferson, all on the money, has been this great man, and all the time he was messing with that little girl called Sally Hemings. They never refer to Sally Hemings as a child. They always say that woman. She was 14 years old, you guys. But this, I'm just preparing y'all, drawing y'all into the story. We get into the story. Remember, the past reflect the future. And I'm going into the story where Ellen gonna meet her Caucasian family. So that's what that's leading into. So here we go. Ellen gonna meet her Caucasian family. Clearly by accident now. At the other ending of the chapter, Ernest was put back in prison because he had beat up Officer Lightfoot again, y'all. Officer Lightfoot get beat up all the time on the ship because he be after them black women on the ship, and Ernest and them was always around to protect the black women. First it was David, now it's Ernest. So David decided that he would go work back down there in the bowels of the Titanic to look for Ernest, right? So he gets down there, and while he's down there looking for Ernest, Captain Smitty made him the boss, just to Charlie. Charlie was the original boss. He was the little poor Irishman down there with him. And so Charlie took offense to it. I'm not taking no advice from no ninja, So he kept on picking with Ernest down there. So Ernest said, come on, man, you want to fight? You want to fight? Come on, leave me alone. Ernest couldn't take it no more down there with those Irishmen down there in the bows of the Titanic. So they got in a fight. Anyway, Charlie was the one that would call himself fighting Ernest. He ended up having a heart attack while he was trying to fight Ernest, y'all. Lord have mercy. So they called for Aunt Linda. Aunt Linda came down and she diagnosed Charlie with a heart attack. And so she said, this is beyond me. You have to go see the ship doctor. I'm just a herbalist. Oh, he was like, oh, please, Linda, please don't send me up there to that old whack doctor. She said, no, I can't help you. You got to go to the ship doctor. But Ellen, you have to go escort him up there to the ship doctor, So Ellen escorted him there. And then this is where Ellen is going to meet her Caucasian family. Ellen been raised up as a black woman, and her twin, they were separated. Her twin was raised up in the house with the daddy and the family, but she was their servant. So one twin is black, want to be black, and the other twin is passing for white. Here we go. Ellen meets her Caucasian family. We beginning this on page 111. Y'all know it's cold. It's pretty chilly here in Atlanta, y'all. Yes. Well, we've been having some great weather. We've been having some good weather, though, y'all. Can't complain. Yeah. How's the weather where you guys are at? Anybody still got warm weather? Well, I can't complain here in Atlanta because we've been having some nice weather. It's just chilly today, though. Okay, Ellen meets her Caucasian family. Begin on 111 for those of you who want to tag along. David to be the head fireman because what they were doing down there wasn't working. The fire aboard the Titanic was getting out of control. Charlie was the head macho down there. He was a white Irishman, and he just got upset. I'm not taking no orders from no ninja. That was his attitude. And of course, they got into it. He kept picking with David to find that David took off his shirt. What you want to do, man? What you want to do? I'm tired of you throwing all these earnest, dehumanizing accusation at me. What you want to do? Ernest was taking off his shirt. Charlie took off his shirt, and they got into a brawl. All right. Suddenly, Charlie went down holding his chest. That was the Irishman. Come to find out he was having a heart attack. He wasn't able to keep up with David. David, was younger and more masculine. But anyway, so Charlie was having a heart attack. He was choking. He said that smoke down there was getting him, So David gets up. He ordered his staff to place Charlie on a cold deck. Now let's get back to work, David. Yeah, get back to work, everybody. Immediately, I'm at the bottom of page 110. A message was given to Melinda. She wasn't pleased about saving the life of a known enemy to her tribal brother, David. Yeah, But it was a nurse's duty, a job she signs above for the Titanic for. As Melinda entered the freezing deck, she saw Charlie. He was holding his chest. She examines him. He's having a heart attack. Man, you having a heart attack. I need the ship doctor. No, that's not for me. I'm a herbalist. You need the ship doctor. Charlie whispered in her ear, no, I need you. No, not that ship doctor. That fake doctor, no. Everyone knows you the greatest doctor. You the greatest healer on the ship. Charlie whispered, I need you, Melinda. I need you. Don't give me to that fake doctor. Well, Melinda says, I heard about this fight with David. Yeah. You're lazy and in poor condition, said Melinda. All y'all cockadoo do is give orders and eat all day long. That's all y'all do. You out of shape, man. How in the hell did you expect to go one-on-one with a black man whose body is trained for stamina? He was stronger and faster than you were. Yeah. Next time, keep your mouth closed. Yeah. In the meantime, Ellen appears. A heart attack? A heart attack, she said. A heart attack in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. What are we going to do, Melinda? Oh, we got 24 hours till we reach New York, said Melinda. I'll just have to find some way to keep him stabilized. I'm on page 111, y'all. Of course, Ellen and Melinda knew they were lost. Yes. See, they were using their third eye, that training to use the universe as that compass. Of course, Ellen and Melinda knew they were lost, and their chances of reaching the United States in 24 hours was slim. Yeah. She reminded Charlie that he had to go back to your cabin. Look at here now, Charlie. You got to go back. Ain't nothing I could do for you, bro. Go back to your cabin. She told him it was a mild heart attack. Belinda turned to Ellen. She said, look, Ellen, I got another job to do with Miss Elizabeth. You must escort Charlie to the ship doctor. Before leaving, Melinda gave Charlie some herbs. It stabilized him. Okay. I'm on Ellen meets her Caucasian family. Now, remember that Ellen is a product from the slaver. Like when she used to, you know, how they used to tip into the black servants' cabin and violate them. Well, you know, she was a mulatto or she was biracial. Ernest is her brother. Now, Ernest is engaged to Melinda. Now, they're in a band. That's how they got on there. They were highly recommended. But when they got on board, the ship, the captain didn't know that they were black. He went on and let them on board. But, you know, when he found out they were black, he said, just let them on board. Just go on, y'all, go on. Black folks, y'all just gone on over there. You came highly recommended. I thought you was a white band. But anyway, Ellen is the lead singer. So now Ellen hated altering her black identity. Often she used her white skin to look out for her friends. Yes, she felt peculiar and didn't fit in on the white side. She felt she could never be as cold-hearted as the colonizer. They are my family members. Yeah. While walking from Dr. Anderson's office, Ellen noticed an elderly, slim, clear woman. She is looking in her direction. She motioned Ellen while calling her, Helen! Hey, Helen! Helen, come here. Helen, come here. That's what the little old white lady is saying. Helen, come here, babe. Come here, come here. She kept repeating herself. So Ellen noticed the old lady sitting on the deck along with another Clear family. In addition, she thought the lady was a fan of hers. Y'all remember she's a singer. While walking towards the Clear family, everyone looks as though they saw a ghost. Among the family walks up a clear girl. She looks identical to Ellen. She was with the ship doctor. Oh, the complex predicament of passing as a clear girl came to surface when Ellen came face to face with her double. Yes, y'all heard it. Yes, that's right. Ellen is a twin. Her deceased mom, Lucy, told her that the enslaver took Helen. Wait a minute. Her deceased mom, Lucy, told her that the enslaver had took Helen, but they both were a product where he had violated her. What's more, so the dad had the other twin working in a house as a servant job. What's more, to one in the family, no one in the family never talked about it, and the doctor thought his past has slipped by unnoticed. They won't notice that this little girl running around here as a servant is not his. So he raised her with his family as a servant, lurid in details at the same time, processing. Lord, I must say, Ellen, processing it. You mean to tell me that this I just left and stand before her was her father? Yeah, y'all heard it. Her father, the colonizer. When Ellen's eyes locked with her twins, she felt her twins' anxiety. She knew her twin was masquerading as a clear person. Yeah, for an easier life. Helen gazed at Ellen as she cried. Then she ran to her cabin. She cried. Woo! I know who you are, said the elderly clear lady. Her name was Mary. I know who you are. I know all my grandchildren, all my grandkids, the old lady Mary said. Yeah, Dad. You think we didn't know, Dad? You think we did not know? You thought I didn't know, Dad? You thought I didn't know? Yells Ellen. Yells Megan, the oldest daughter. Oh, our baby sister. We know that. That's our baby sister. The twin look just like your dad. She may be mulatto. She look just like your dad. That's what Mark said. He was the middle son. With anger in her face, Dr. Anderson's wife, Barbara, left. Barbara knew all the time that was his daughter, but she's trying to ignore everything herself. Stop it! Stop it, all of you! Just stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it, all of you! Just stop it! God damn it! Just stop it! Screamed Ellen. I don't care about you savages. I'm glad you didn't choose to raise me. I'm glad I wasn't raised up with y'all. You're heartless. You even use your own daughter as a servant, Daddy. It's your own blood, but you still so hard till you use her as a slave. You don't deserve to be my father. Not you, you heartless. Screamed Ellen. Page 113 at the top. She holds resentment for her dad. As far as she was concerned, symbolic. He sold his daughter. That's the way Ellen said. I resent that man. He sold his daughter. He sold my twin into slavery. Oh, it felt like he was a stranger. But the DNA genes towards the twins were different. Even though they were raised from different sides of the track, Ellen felt her twins in her spirit. I could feel her. That's my DNA, all the same blood, the same gene, the same womb. We occupied at the same time in mother's womb. I can feel my twin in her spirit. Then Ellen rushed away crying. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, she rushed away crying, y'all. She was in shock. Now, notice one twin was raised up with the white family. They both look white. So she wanted to be white so bad. She wanted to be accepted for an easier life. The other twin, which is Ellen, she was raised up with her mother, and she enjoyed being an African American. But all my life I had to fight, says Ellen, because she always had to prove that she was a black girl. But Ellen outlines a frequent history of the making of mulattoes or biracial. During the 1400s to 1900s, the slavers would violate the black women. When she got pregnant, the enslaver abandoned his child. I'm on page 113, y'all, second paragraph. When she get pregnant, the enslaver abandoned his child. Without a doubt, they are the most deadbeat dads there is. Just think about it, y'all. They label all black men as deadbeat dads, but they are, back there during the day, they were making babies and abandoning those babies. Yes, they were. They created the one drop rule, y'all, which is one drop of black blood makes you a black person. Yeah, so no. These laws ensure the clear dad of no accountability towards their mulatto children. Some are sold into slavery or some work as servants in the homes. They regard them as property, and as if they were selling one of their goats, they sold them for profit. Compared to their clear siblings, they were brutalized. Yeah, they suffered humiliation and hardship in that home. Some of these mulatto grows up hearing whispers that the colonizer was the father. Yes, the colonizer is your daddy over there. Deadbeat clear man. Deadbeat dad, the most deadbeat dad in the world. Yes. So he's your father, and the black man dare not say anything. In addition, there's no law that will protect her from all this violence, the humiliation. There is no law that protects black women, you guys. For centuries, some biracial people masquerade as white so they can have social and economic advantage. Assumed to be white is Ellen's friend, twin. Ellen, it's just a peculiar feeling Ellen was feeling. It's just so peculiar that my twin don't want to embrace her blackness. She welcomes her black identity as she rushed off the pool deck. Yes, Ellen always have embraced her blackness. When she came back to reality, she was going down those green stairways. It led to the first class dining room. All these clear passengers were sitting in a group at a table. Yeah, they were listening to the orchestra playing. So Ellen sits down by them, hoping to sneak in the back kitchen to talk to Mom Annie. Come see y'all. She in first class right now, y'all know. So she want to get back in the back. Mom Annie is serving and hosting this midday luncheon, you guys. Oh my, look. It's the singer. Yeah, that's one of them Karens on a short boat. She knows it. Oh my, it's the singer. Oh, y'all know who that is. Oh, what did I know that? Oh, I know. Just trying to think about where I know her from. It's the singer. Oh my, that reggae band. That's where I seen her singing it. Pointer Ella. Yeah. Pointer. Yeah, that reggae band. That's her right there, y'all. That singer. Pointer Ellen is a group of clear women. Hey, come here. Come here. Can you come have lunch with us? Yeah. Can you come have lunch with us? That's what that Karen is saying to Ellen, yeah. At the dinner table, Ellen had a glass of wine. She and the ladies talked about their jobs. Oh, they talked about her job. To Ellen's surprise, they were socialites, which was another word for paid escort. Yeah, paid escort aboard the TITANIC on the top of page 114. I'll sing to that smile, Ellen. Oh, at least you girls don't act stuck up. Yes. Could you sing us a solo, please? Please, Ellen, sing us a solo. The ladies requested. Usually, Ellen would entertain these clear ladies for fear they were making a mockery out of her. But singing helped relieve the stress. Her beautiful voice didn't need no music. Oh, she sounded like Mariah Carey and kind of looked like Mariah Carey. Y'all just picture that. When she rushes into the dining room, she grabbed the saxophone and she joined in harmony with, wait a minute, y'all. Hold it. I got to back up. Her beautiful voice didn't need no music. It drew people from everywhere, including Mom Annie. Now, Mom Annie, come out of that kitchen. So Mom Annie rushed to the dining room, and Mom Annie grabbed her saxophone. She joins in the harmony with Ellen. With a lot of soul, she blew. Blow it. Play that thing. Play that saxophone, Mama Annie. Although absolutely amazing thoughts, Helen, as she and her white half sibling observed Ellen singing. Now Helen and the rest of her half sibling is watching her sing. However, when Ellen and Mom Annie finished singing, the audience requested another song. Oh, good girl. Whoa. Give us another song. That was good. Now I know. Give us another song. Yes. So they requested another song, but she felt her twins' heart. Ellen started. She was feeling this energy coming from her twin in the audience. She felt unexplained mental connection between them. Come. She called her on stage. She gave Helen, the microphone. Dreams do come true, sister. Sing your heart out. At first, Helen was nervous, but when Ellen began to sing, she harmonized with her. In fact, they had similar voices. A heartbreaking moment, twins separated at birth and meeting for the first time aboard the Titanic. I mean, y'all. I mean, the DNA is strong. They even wore the same hairstyle. They had the same color and lipstick on. They had on matching shoes and similar clothes. What an amazing moment! What an amazing moment! The crowd shouts. So this is the moment Helen opened her eyes. She says, Now I feel complete. Remember, Helen is the twin. After an incredible performance, Ellen and Helen and their half-clear siblings, as well as Mom Annie, sits at the dining room table. Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair, Mama Annie. Not long after, a stewardess asks Annie to leave the first class area. That blow Ellen's mind. Because remember, Mom Annie about my color, it's obvious that she's black and, she can come and cook for me. You have to stay in the kitchen, go out the back door. Don't come out here with us. And it's amazing how they treated African Americans, and we were the one cooking for them. I'm just saying. Cooking, she could have put some in their food. They wouldn't have known it. Alrighty, y'all. So not long after, a stewardess asked Annie to leave the first class area. I'm at the top of page 115, y'all. How hypocritical, Ellen thought. Minutes before, they were cheering Annie as she played the saxophone. Yeah? Not one word in defense of Mom Annie, you guys. None of them clear people sitting over there. Not one word in defense of Mom Annie. The clear women look the other way. They act like nothing had happened. You know what? Ellen was talking to her twin. I ain't never going to be treated less than. You hear me? I'm never going to be treated less than. She talking to her twin. I'm taking my biracial secret to the grave. Yes. She said she's never going to be treated less than. That's the twin, y'all. Helen. She trying to pass for white. I'm taking my biracial secret to the grave. To the grave. Nobody will never know that black part of me. You foolish. You just foolish, Ellen shot. You just foolish. You were kidnapped from Mom by your slave owner dad. You were kidnapped, girl. He sold you to his family as a servant. Why don't you understand? In his eyes, you are less than. But me, you see me, girl, you may be my twin sister, but I'm a free black woman. I am free. I am not no one's servant. I'm free. I'm free. I'm a free black woman. I'm no one's servant. You so foolish, Ellen. You just foolish. You know this man kidnapped you from Mama. You know that. So you're going to take your biracial secret to the grave? That means you are denying Mother. That's not on there, y'all. As Dr. Anderson and his wife stood over them, he yelled, "That's enough. That's just enough. That's enough. I thought I was saving my mulatto daughter. I thought I was saving her from a greater life of hardship. I tried to get you, but you were a sickly child, and your mama begged me to allow you to nurse you back to health. The next day she took you and escaped. It's Dr. Anderson. Dad, we never had a normal relationship, said Helen. We never had a normal relationship because your white Barbara is insecure. She is neurotic. Y'all, this reminds me of the Fletcher incident. I'm not your mom, replies Barbara. Dad, we never have a normal relationship, said Helen, because of your white Barbara. She's insecure. She's neurotic, Dad. I'm not your mom, replies Barbara. You may be masquerading as white, but you will always be a Negro woman. The one drop rule says you are a black person twins, I ain't remind the devil how some colored woman took my husband attention. Yeah. Every time I look at you, I'm reminded that a black woman took my husband attention. A typical white woman, Ellen replies. You're just a typical white woman, feeling racial contamination and degradation, but you blaming the black woman instead of your cheating, violating husband. That's who you need to be blaming. You want to blame my mother? You want to blame the children? Blame your husband. So anyway, these clear women, they often were cruel towards their husband, mulatto children, as well as the black mom. Punishment was dished out in response to jealousy on page 116, y'all. To assert dominance, they whipping and they shackling and had long hours workload was inflicted. Yeah, they did all that to these black women. The white women played as much role as the clear men in racism. She is just as treacherous. She is gone from knowing her husband is having an intimate relationship with his black servant. It was knowledgeable that the sexual relationship was forced. But the wife had no sympathy. What's more, these black children, they suffer cruel treatment. Yes, in the meantime, an officer supplies. The entire family leaked before leaving. Helen told her twin Ellen, don't ever contact me because I'm reinventing myself as a white woman. I don't want you near me. I don't want you to remind me of my blackness. Screw all of you. Just screw all of you. Just screw y'all, Ellen shouted. What's the use of passing as a white girl when it's making you an emotional wreck? You are not even accepted by your biological dad. Screw you. Screw you. Dear Mom Annie pops up. She looked at Ellen. She said, I've heard everything. You could never grow up in a home with a family that historically hate your ancestors. Meanwhile, Mom Annie held Ellen's hands. They climbed down the ladder which led back to the mail room. Hey, you beautiful ladies, that's Nigel. Anyway, thank you. That story probably hit home. Y'all know it hits on all this colorism, you guys. Do y'all know that? I remember when I used to be watching like Coming to America. Yeah, that was about Africans, but yet all of they leading lady had to be looking like they were biracial or light skinned. So when you're a dark skinned girl coming up, a lot of dark skinned girls still look at their complexion as, not being so beautiful because society will say that for some reason society has convinced us that, you're beautiful the lighter you are. Yeah. But in this stage in 2023, y'all, we still find out that there is a lot of colorism going on. It started back from slavery day. Anyway, back in slavery day, where they always felt like if you had white ancestors, then you were more privileged. So that's how a lot of those mulattoes will hang out together because they thought they were more privileged than their sisters and brothers or relatives because they had white ancestors. Anyway, you guys, let me just give everybody a shout out. And that's what that story was about. it had a lot of colorism in there, right? You had Ellen, who she wanted to be black, and then her sister wanted to be white. And most of the time, those people that want to be white is because they feel like their life would be better, you guys. Anyway, I said what I said is here. She said, "Good morning, Black Titanic in chat. I'm listening in the bullies." Ruthie Lewis say, "Hey, Pinky. Oh, glad that you are feeling better." And she gets some little emojis I can't see. But, oh, yeah, speaking of, thank you, Ruthie Lewis. Pinky, I don't know if she's still sitting up there, but is she able? Oh, what am I doing? Is she able to sit up there? But Pinky, y'all, I'm confused. Oh, Pinky been sick. You guys know she had surgery, right? But she's still such a doll. I don't like to call her because I feel like I'll be, intruding on her. So she'll call me. I'll let her call me when she feel like talking. But get well soon, Pinky. We love you and we miss you. So people in the chat, don't y'all forget Pinky. Y'all know she loved the she loved to go live. She done heard me say that plenty of times. So soon as she get to feeling better, she gonna be live again, you guys. Yes, she will be. Oh, she says she's still here. Wow, you a champion. What you doing? Sitting up on your bedside? Trying to sit up? Yeah, she's in a lot of pain, y'all. Y'all know anybody had surgery? Ooh, wait, when you first come home and that anesthesia wear off, I mean it, you can really feel that pain. But let me say, Patricia Ellis Robbins, thank you for being here. Ruthie Lewis, thank you for being here. And Ruthie Lewis say, "Hey, Miss Black Titanic Moss in chat. Tyler. Hey, Tyler and Timon Gmon. Good morning, Pinky. Pray that you feeling better soon." Yeah, Pinky, get better. Get better soon, Pinky. Okay, let's Cynthia Buchanan. Hey, girl, what's up, young lady? Grand rising to you. Reno, hello. Shirley Terry, hello to you also. Hello at Black Titanic. Listen, you guys, you think that will be a thing of the past where people experience colorism, right? But it's not. It's still up and about. But the most thing we got to realize that all of us is black. I don't care if you high yellow or jet black. We all black, and we should always, embrace whoever we are or whatever we look like as a black person, right? So cultural news influences says Grand Rising, Black Titanic, and chat. So we have to teach it to our children too. Yeah, be proud of who you are, regardless of what color you embracing over there, right? One thing about a black woman, we got two genes, y'all. So we don't never know what color our kid's gonna come out. You could be jet black and walk around with a high yellow kid because we have two genes. The black woman got a dark gene and she got a light gene. And that light gene goes from spectrum. It can be, anywhere from just light skin on down to albino, right? Y'all know what albino looks like. So yeah, so that's the gene that we got. Two G's, right? But there's a lot of stressors in some women because they suffer discrimination. They feel that the darker skin that they are, the more inequality that they will get in the workplace, and especially in these movies. Those actors, they talk about that a lot. And I remember when I was little growing up, you knew that these people were black, but they will pick the lightest skinned people to be on be do the movies, the leading ladies. But it didn't matter what color the black man was. He just always could come through the movie theater as an actor in any color, you know. But that's just outside discrimination. It's better in 2023 because a lot of these producers are black, so they sort of like Tyler Perry, right? It don't matter to him, you know, just as long as you're a great actor coming through there. So Janice Hayes says, good commentary, Black Titanic. You always educational about your heritage. Did any of y'all know that Thomas Jefferson had all these black kids running around here and black grandkids? Now, that was always known in the black community. I remember when Oprah came out and Oprah did a show on that, and there was so many people amazed that they act like they couldn't believe it. I don't know why, because he wasn't no great man. Anybody that can enslave you is not a good man. But anyway, a lot of people wouldn't believe it. And then they also said that they had a special grave site for all his relatives, right? But if you were black, you just had to, you had to prove that he was your descendant in order to be buried in that cemetery. And I realized some of those relatives, they didn't even bother to try to be buried in that cemetery because they had came up with a lot of resistance. They had to show paperwork. They had to prove. And then they had the white side. This is Oprah Winfrey now. Then they had the white side on the other side. So all they had to do was say that they was descendant. They didn't have to prove nothing. They could be buried out there in that cemetery, they loved ones. But anyway, so Thomas Jefferson, probably in Miss Sarah Hemings is the one that has been most documented. He documented his life with Sarah, that little girl. She was only 14 when he started messing with her. She went on to have 6 or 7 kids with that man. Yeah, 2 of them, when they looked at white, so they passed for white, 2 of her kids. And Pinky, I remember. I know you can't talk right now, but Pinky tells that story a lot. About her, she had a relative that passed for white. It depends on where he was at, according to her. He'll pass for white when it's convenient, and then when it was time to be black, he passed for black and said everybody knew he was black, though. So, yeah. All right, Janice Hayes says, good commentary. I read that. Thank y'all for lifting my spirit up. Grand Rising, Miss Black Titanic. I've been listening in the bushes. Okay, Janetta, you showed it. Janetta and Janice. Hi, Janice. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be here. Y'all, I've been trying to get out of here to get back to Huntsville, but that old car of mine, just ain't driving right. I got it in the shop now, and I dropped it off at the shop. So maybe by sometime next week I can be down there. When I go to Huntsville this time, I'll be there for a while. But I ain't getting on that freeway until I'm sure that my car is in good condition, you guys. All right, you guys. Love y'all. Love y'all. Go back. Make sure y'all hit some of my make sure y'all I had an uncle that passed in the 60s. Oh, that's Ruthish, yeah. Yeah, Ruthish. Oh, yeah. It was very common back in the 60s. Very, yeah. Okay, I want to say one thing. Y'all remember, it can be the opposite, too. Y'all remember that lady name? What was her name? Rachel Dozier or something like that, that passed for black when she really had 2 white parents. She was kind of, and she did that at her convenience. She passed for black, and she was going to first she was a white girl going to the university, and she sued them, right? She said that they were Rachel sued one of the university. I can't remember which one it was. Said it was discriminating against her because she was white. Then next thing you know, she started posing like she black. So she made a lot of money out for being black. She really did. She was teaching in a university. I think she was speaking everywhere. Yeah. So it can be the opposite too. Some of these white people, they try to pass for black. Yeah. I'm gone, you guys. I'm gone. I know I need to do a live with y'all so we can have fun. I just got to think about what to do. So I'm going to come back live so we can have fun. All right, good. Y'all have a great day. Thanks everybody for being here and love all of y'all. Thanks for supporting me, y'all. And thanks for lifting my spirit up today, too. My memories only, I will give y'all a midday reading. Sometime, I don't know what day, but it'll be a midday reading after I get to Huntsville. Bye. I mean, a midweek reading. I'll send y'all a private one.